The majority of Christian denominations teach the doctrine of a rapture that will take place in the end times. You may be unaware that the word rapture is actually not even found in the Bible. From the earliest days, Christians have been awaiting the return of their Lord. All over YouTube as well as the rest of the internet you will see multitudes of predictions by people who claim to have had dreams or visions of when the Lord would return. No matter how educated they may claim to be, they show their true ignorance of the scriptures, by even attempting to make such a ridiculous prediction. The Bible says that no man, not the angels, not even Jesus Christ knows the answer to this question. Only God the Father knows the day of the return of Christ. Matthew 24:36 But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. 24:37 But as the days of Noah, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. 24:39 And knew not until the flood came, and took them all away, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. 24:44 Therefore be ye also ready, for in such an hour as ye think not the Son of Man cometh. 24:50 The Lord of that servant shall come in a day when he looketh not for him, and in an hour that he is not aware of. In the book of Matthew, we find the disciples asking Jesus what the signs of his coming and the end of the world would be. Notice as we go along how strongly that Jesus warns to be careful and take heed or pay close attention to what is going on so they would not be deceived. Matthew 24:4 And Jesus answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. Matthew 24:5 For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. 6 And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. 24:7 For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, and pestilences, and earthquakes, in divers places. 24:8 All these are the beginning of sorrows. 24:11 And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. 24:23 Then if any man shall say unto you, Lo, here is Christ, or the, believe it not. 24:24 For there shall arise false Christs, and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that, if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. God himself is going to send this strong delusion. 2 Thessalonians 2:11 And for this cause God shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie. Of course I know that these deceivers could come from many different walks of life anywhere on earth. But if we were to open our minds a little bit, it wouldn't be hard for us to imagine false prophets coming to this earth from other places as well. UFO phenomena has increased astoundingly over the past few years that it has forced the genesis of disclosure to begin occurring. Things which would have once been said to only be believed by the tinfoil crazies are now on the evening news. Openly discussed by politicians, celebrities, scientists, and religious leaders. Now just imagine for a moment the possibility that maybe these two events are related. What if these so-called ancient aliens are actually the fallen angels, returning to Earth showing miracles and signs and wonders? If you watch the History Channel or most all mainstream entertainment channels which deal with the UFO phenomenon, you will see how all speak of these ancient aliens as our benevolent creators, who they believe will return to Earth to show us where we have gone wrong.
What is exceptional is that the Vatican was taking very seriously what science might tell us about the possibility of extraterrestrial intelligent life forms.
How would it change the Church's teaching then? Well, if you consider for a moment, if you determine that there is extraterrestrial life there.
Well, one thing would be fascinating would be not only extraterrestrial life, but if it were extraterrestrial intelligent life forms. That would definitely make us go back and say, maybe our understanding of perennial truths needs to be updated. Now, the way we look at it is this. It's not about whether or not God was the creator, but rather how he created. It's not a question of whether original sin, this Adam and Eve story, is true or not, but our understanding of how that played out.
These are not the creators. The Creator knew of a deception so great that even the children of God would even be deceived. Now I ask you, what could deceive the Christians any more than if they were to see a so-called rapture occur and they were left behind? Seeing how that after all they had done, and the years spent in church and Bible study, they were somehow left behind? It is a reasonable thought to ponder. The Bible clearly says that we are not at war with humans, but rather something much more sinister. Ephesians 6:12, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Another interesting verse to consider is Hebrews 11:34, quenched the violence of fire, escaped the edge of the sword, out of weakness were made strong, waxed valiant in fight, turned to flight the armies of the aliens. Perhaps these false Christs may use one of these false rapture date prophecies as the chosen time to bring in a fake rapture. Regardless of what the deception is, or who the deceivers are, there is no denying that the signs that Jesus spoke of concerning the day that this event would happen are all around us. Don't be fooled.